Yo, what's up you guys? Welcome back to the channel, welcome back to another video. This is basically a series where we take a look at some of South Africa's best modified cars. Today we've got such a special car on the channel. If you guys have been keeping up with my TikTok and Instagram page, you would have seen this beautiful beast. First thing you'll notice when you look at the front of this car, and well, just everywhere on this car, is how low it sits. Yes, this car is on air suspension. I know what you might be thinking about air suspension. I will answer all those questions when we take this car for a drive. Now, just take a look at the hood right here. This is still the stock M2 hood. However, you guys can see that Rodrigo has literally sawed this thing off and he's put these amazing vents on this car. Funny story about that. That was literally done the first day he bought this car. Now, we're going to take a look at the side skirts of this car. Now, this is unlike any other side skirt that you probably see on any other BMW because this is all custom made. Rodrigo made this himself in his garage and this looks absolutely sick. This is quite possibly my favorite parts of the BMW M2. It's absolutely thick, and I think this car has got what I like to call the Brazilian butt lift special. Just look at how wide that sits right there. The carbon fiber really does accentuate all the curves on this car and allows it to really look so wide there. Now, as we take a look over here, you'll see these custom carbon fiber rear splats right here. Again, this just allows this BMW M2 to look so mean and so menacing. Do these serve a purpose? Probably not, but it does look really cool. Now, one of my favorite points and parts of this car are these absolutely massive exhaust tips right here. I can quite literally stick like a fist and a quarter inside there. I'm not gonna do that right now because we just took this car on a drive, and well, you will hear in a second why I'm not gonna do that. Let's move on to the interior of this vehicle. Now, you guys will see these BMW M Performance Recaro bucket seats in this car. Now, the first time I looked at these seats, I really thought these would be like some really stiff and uncomfortable seats, but I will tell you something right now. These are quite literally some of the most comfortable seats I've ever sat in, and yes, they hold you in place, and you guys will see that in just a second. Check this out, you guys. We got this beautiful carbon fiber steering wheel right here, and I want to say something about the steering wheel. This steering wheel is the absolute perfect size and thickness. It really allows you to hold this car and feel like you're in full control at all times. Now, taking a look at the center console and all the other accents in this car, you'll notice that all of this is carbon fiber. Now, it carries on the look from the outside, the carbon fiber and the gold, and I really like the continuation of everything that Rodrigo has done in this car. You'll see this gold line right here carries all the way down through the steering console and all the way up to the front end of the car. Now, when we take a look at the back of this car, you'll notice that we've got a whole rear seat delete, and well, this really sick roll cage right here. This roll cage is bolted into the car right there, so it is absolutely firm. Now, you'll notice that it's holding in this carbon fiber air system tank right here, and that looks so sick. And again, we've got those sick gold accents that carry on throughout this vehicle. Okay, you guys, we've taken a look at the aesthetic mods in this car. Now it's time to take this thing on the road and see how it drives. Let's go. This is hands down the best sounding car I've ever driven in my life. Listen to this. Did you guys hear that? What? Oh no. Okay, so we're on some corner. Okay, I need to gather myself real quick. Okay, so One thing I must absolutely say about this car is the air suspension makes this car drive like an absolute dream. You do not feel any bumps on the road. You don't feel any of these little nuances that this road got, because it's absolutely not perfect, but I bet you guys this video is pretty stable. The air suspension cancels out a lot of those little bumps and makes this car feel like it's not necessarily driving on a cloud, because this air suspension still gives you that feeling. The steering wheel is still very heavy, very responsive. It lets you know what the car is doing. So there is, and the auto blipping is absolutely beautiful. So the air suspension really does let you know what the car is doing at all times. So you never feel disconnected from the car like a lot of air suspension setups make you feel. Another thing I must say about this car is that exhaust. That exhaust note is absolutely beautiful. These N55 sound absolutely insane. Another thing I must say about this car is it really does not have that much turbo lag. That's one thing I thought coming into this was the single turbo N55 must certainly have more turbo lag than, you know, an M2 comp, for example, but that is absolutely not the case with this car. This car handles like an absolute dream, and the power delivery is almost instant. Now, let's talk about 5 things I absolutely love about this particular car. And I'm going to start with these seats. This car has these M Performance Recaro bucket seats. Now, upon looking at them, you might think these seats are uncomfortable. Well, they are the absolute latter. These are some of the most comfortable seats I've ever sat in, and they do a perfect job of holding you in place. This car does have software. It has pops and bangs and a little bit of verbal software on there, but it's nothing to make the car necessarily a lot faster. This, in my opinion, is the perfect cruiser. I mean, you can have it sitting low like this, or if you want to go into 4x4 mode, you just got to grab the remote, press the number 3, and it sets the car really high so you can clear all sorts of things. Another thing I absolutely love about this car, and I'm sure you guys have seen in the videos, is the way it sounds. That is a power flow straight pipe going straight to the downpipe, and it goes without saying, you guys, the styling of this car. I mean, just look at it. It's a full carbon fiber BMW M2. This thing turns heads, and I mean, we've been driving this car for a little bit, and people that don't even know anything about cars still stop and just stare at this thing. It is absolutely beautiful. This M4 rear spoiler right here, these diffusers, this massive exhaust tips, all these rear splats, and also this custom made side skirt right here that Rodrigo made himself is absolutely beautiful. It really sets this car apart. Another thing I really love about this car, you guys, as I mentioned a little bit earlier, is that auto blip function. It really does allow you to feel like you're in full control of this car. It gives you a sense of confidence that no other manual car I've personally driven has done for me. And this is one of the things I really love about this car, is it smells so good. Shout out to Luxury Fragrances. You guys need to get you some of this, man. This car smells so beautiful. But we're gonna return this car now. We've had a lot of fun with it. I've never driven a car that's like had me smiling this much. Final takes as I park this car. This is hands down the most fun car I've ever driven, you guys. I was very nervous coming into the shoot about the manual aspects of this car. I really do love the DCT transmissions in BMWs. I love the sound it makes when you shift, when you let off the throttle. And that's one of the biggest things I thought that the manual gearbox would take away from this car. But that is absolutely not true. The manual gearbox makes all those fun noises. It gives you the confidence you need with the auto blipping and the upshift. And the short shifter really gives you that nice confidence to really throw this car into gear and do what you need to do. The size of this car is perfect. It does not intimidate you. It does not feel too heavy. It does not feel too light. It's just the perfect amount. The air suspension gives you comfortability when you need it, toughness when you need it, and just the right amount of fun and slip. If you want to make this thing sit lower than your auntie Sari, press the number 1 and this thing drops. If you want it to go high enough to go over bumps, over anything like that, you can lift it up. You got the best of both worlds. The roll cage. The roll cage now in this car is really to hold the air suspension kit up on there, but I'm sure it does kind of do something, you know. We're gonna tell ourselves it does That's something for performance. Okay? But yeah, you know. And a lot of the other small little touches that Rodrigo's put into this car that really does complete it. It's like, you know, all these little carbon fiber accents that you've got on the center console and the shift knob, so carbon fiber shift knob, the handbrake lever, every single thing, the steering wheel. That's another thing I really love about this car. The steering wheel is just the perfect size. It's not too big, it's not too small. It's got the right amount of chunkiness on it, so when you're really holding, you're going through corners, you feel so confident in what you're doing. So my final takes on the luxury fragrances M2. It's brilliant. It is brilliant. I feel like it doesn't need any more power. Not every car needs to be 1,000 horsepower. This is just perfect. Just perfect. What do you think about it, Ruth?
I don't know what to say.
Wait, I actually need to ask. Okay, so you've been sitting in the passenger seats, full me, and now what do you think about this car? Just going on that little bit of a drive.
The whole time he's been driving, like, I've just been smiling behind the camera. I don't know if you could see. I'm just like, yeah, let's go. But I don't know.
So this is your first M2 that you've been in, bro?
Yes.
And what do you think about it? Did it live up to your expectations?
Definitely.
I think, honestly,
with the air suspension,
I think it exceeds. There's a whole air show happening outside as a side note, you guys. I don't know if you can see all of that. There's like a plane. There's like 4 planes that side. But anyway, this car really has exceeded my expectations, you guys. I went into this video very nervous to be driving a manual M2. I really thought the manual would take a lot of the fun away, but not at all. We barely floored. I think I have not even gone over the speed limit in this car. And it's like, yeah.
We heard you, bro.
The security actually in one of the complexes, right? He came because then we made a U-turn before that road you're talking about there. And we made a U-turn. He just comes out. He's just like, yeah. And I'm also like, yeah.